we're going to record this not so that we can make sure that you behave, but so that we can post it and then send it out to people that couldn't make it in case they want to hear what we had to say today. Thank you all for being here. It's super exciting to be...
Top left one.
Will that work?
Got it.
I'm figuring things out. I'm super excited to be here, and I appreciate you all being here. We're really excited about the future. This will be, fortunately for me, probably one of 1 million times you hopefully sit here and listen to me about something. Unfortunately for you, you're gonna have to hear me ramble on about fitness today, which is something I love doing and I hope you love listening to. Today to kick off, we have our logo, which we have reframed to include Lemont, because we wanna pay ode to the fact that, yes, a week from today, we'll take over and own the gym, but it's really your guys' community. And it's you guys that have built this place for a year or 2 years, or I know some of you, 13 or 14 years. So it's you guys that have been here and made it your place. And so as we come in, we're definitely gonna make some changes, hopefully all for the better. But we want open communication both ways about what is important to you, what is part of the fabric of this place, because we don't want to change those things. We still want it to be the community that you all have come to love, and that is close and near and dear to your hearts. So with that said, I'm gonna talk for as short as possible and get out all the things I want to say. But if you have questions along the way, or definitely at the end, we'll have time for questions or for feedback. If there are things you want to share about what we should be doing, I definitely want to hear those. So I am Matt Powles. I'm the guy on the left. I will be moving here to Lemont. We just closed on a house last week, so we're super excited to become a part of the community. That's my wife, Kayla. So we're gonna be moving over on East Division Street, and we thought it was super important when we were looking over the last 6 to 9 months for where we were gonna open a second location, that wherever we ended up opening up, we moved into that community so that we weren't just part of the gym community, but we could also be a part of the community outside of the gym as well. So you're gonna see me here every single day. And that's because my brother Adam, who's standing to my right, Adam opened the gym downtown with me 5 years ago. He's been there every day with me. He's gonna take over the day-to-day and run things downtown to free me up to be here on the constant. Adam, you wanna say anything?
Yeah, Matt's brother, taking over the Chicago location. I had to grow up with him, which was, tumultuous, but Matt's a homegrown. He's been an Illinois boy for a long time. My family moved down to the East Coast, and I moved back to Chicago about 5 years ago to help open the Chicago location. Best decision I've ever made. Especially when I started training CrossFit really dedicatedly. Also one of the best decisions that I've ever made. And I'm super excited. It's my first time in this space. It is awesome. It's huge. I know Matt has a lot of ideas for it. I'm really excited to see this take shape. And I hope to be out here, so you'll see my face around. I want to come hang and bang with you guys on some Saturdays. But we are the Jag team. So just always know that I'm here. I'm someone you can talk to, whatever. I'm just really excited to get this rolling.
And I'll skip Webb for a second and move to Ross. This is Ross. Ross is gonna be another full-time coach out here with me. So you'll be seeing way too much of Ross as well. You wanna introduce yourself?
Way too much. I'm not one of the brothers, but made me feel like a brother, which is what I'm looking for. So, my name's Ross. I've been in the.
You're actually early.
Warned us yesterday.
Yeah, you want to sit right in front now.
Put it on pause. That's okay.
We saved it for you.
It's all good.
All right, start over, guys. Start over.
Run it back to the first slide.
So yeah, I've been training. I've been in the fitness space for over 10 years. The last couple years, running a gym in Streeterville, Mag Mile CrossFit. Was the head coach there. Grew that place. Moved on to here when I heard the opportunity to work with Matt. I jumped at that. Great guy, but background-wise, I was a competitive gymnast for my whole life. Competed at University of Illinois. After that, kind of weird first job, but worked for Cirque du Soleil for about 5 years as an acrobat.
That's cool.
Got mangled doing that. Found CrossFit after that. Kind of kept the competitive side of me, kept it going. So I love helping people. I'm so excited to help you guys. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
what you all made a mental note on is if you want to learn gymnastics stuff,
Yes.
Lord have mercy, the best
backflip.
guy in the biz is here for it. Yeah, you want to throw a standing backflip for us? And then Daniel Webb's up there. Webb started coaching with us a year ago downtown. He owned his own affiliate in Texas for 6 years before moving up here, and now he's going to step into a full-time role downtown to support Adam, again, so that they can keep that going and growing and building it into what it can be, and also free me and Ross up to be out here consistently. All of our coaches that we bring on board with you all are career coaches. It's people that this is their job. So when they're not coaching, they're learning more about the industry, and they're dedicating all of their time to becoming the best coach they can be, and so that then they can provide that information and knowledge to you and help to grow you into the best athlete that you can be. So as we move on, I'm gonna start with the thing that hopefully gets people bought into us and really excited about stuff, and I'm gonna do it cautiously, probably isn't the term, but I understand from talking to some of you coaches and members that you have been told some things maybe in the past of stuff that was gonna happen to the gym. So I accept some skepticism about it. That being said, after we finish today, I have a guy coming out here to drill holes in the floor to test the concrete for moisture, because this is all coming, and it's not coming hopefully middle of next year. It's all coming, provided there's not a water table under this floor, by the end of this year. We're gonna make some really big changes as far as the space itself. So we're going to do, and I'm gonna show you some pictures of this too, but we're gonna do new rubber flooring, rolled rubbers that has a nice flush look to it. We're going to, unfortunately, I'm sure you've spilled blood, sweat, and tears into it, but we're gonna get rid of the turf.
Oh,
We're
so
gonna
sad.
force a new
So
turf.
sad.
There you go. We're gonna paint, we're going to align it with our gym branding colors. We're going to replace a pretty big majority of the equipment itself. We'll talk about that in the coming slides. Layout is going to change to make it a little bit more functional, because we're really hoping to grow the size of the classes and the size of the community, and so we want to structure the space to accommodate that without your workouts being challenging and not having space to do so. And then I've been told that the showers, the water smells funny, so we're going to work with Hannah and Jason to get the showers and the water fixed. They have some ideas about that, and we're going to work towards making
I'm not
that a
doing
thing.
anything. That's all Jason, installing a water softener.
Hannah's going to actually
Yeah.
install it. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell him what to buy, and then he's gonna install it.
We're fortunate that one of our members downtown is an interior designer for Gensler and does fitness studios. So she's actually helped us out by putting together some renderings of what the space is going to look like. So this is standing over there and looking back this way. We're gonna have a 48-foot rig that runs through the middle of the space. That's 5 squat stations on either side of it. It allows people to be lined up on either side working out as well, so that from your workout area you have access to the rig and vice versa. As you see into the back, we'll change the coloring. There won't be that logo on the wall, because this is gonna be our coaching station with the TVs, which are gonna come down so that they're more visible instead of trying to read them way up there. Looking at the next slide, again, standing right there and looking back, kind of the same thing. You can see space to line up with your barbells. As we move into the back, we're gonna add GHDs to the facility. I think there's a lot of cool stuff that can be done with GHDs, even beyond just the traditional GHD setups, which at some point I'll share my perspective on those. We're gonna replace the cardio equipment. So we'll have, off the top of my head, we'll have 4 ski ergs, 4 Concept 2 bikes, 8 Echo bikes, and 8 Concept 2 rowers is what we're gonna outfit the space with. We'll add, you can see them there. I'll move to the next. Oh, along the back area, which is now the equipment graveyard, it seems like. We're gonna get that stuff out of here. We are gonna replace it with similar stuff, hack squats, leg presses, cable stack machines. That'll be primarily a personal training area. Or if you wanna get an additional pump in after your workout, you can go over there. But we will help to utilize that space. We're gonna add some rings as well. And then, as you can see there, the turf. We're gonna go with a 5mm arena turf. It's gonna be black. I really like the color black, if you can't tell. So a lot of the space is going to be that black with blue accents. We'll get some new sleds on the turf as well. Any questions about the space? Cool. Moving into the next slide. Now I'm gonna talk about training. And I'm gonna talk about it because you'll see when we start on that Monday after we take over, we take a very different approach to CrossFit. The programming looks very different from your traditional CrossFit programming. And to understand why that is, I've got to go back in a time machine to 2014 and kind of explain to you my story of inception with CrossFit. So it was 2014 when I first walked into a CrossFit gym. At that point, I was 24 years old, and I'd been training pretty diligently for a decade. I did a lot of bench press. I did a lot of bicep curls. I drank and smoked as much cigarettes as I did bench pressing and bicep curls. But I thought that I was like the elite fitnesser of the world. Why? Because I could bench press 3 plates and you could kind of see my abs. And I walked into a CrossFit gym expecting to showcase to everyone my elite level of fitness. And like happens so often for all of us, the first time we walk into a CrossFit gym, I got absolutely humbled by everybody. Middle-aged men, young girls, everyone dusted my ass in the workout. And sitting there in a puddle of humbleness and tears maybe and sweat, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like, this is what you should be doing if you want to live a long time and be healthy and be a functioning human being and get and all of the things of why we come to a place like this. This is the answer. And so I dove in super hard to CrossFit, training a lot, all in, drank all the Kool-Aid, bought all the gear, right? The knee sleeves, the belt, the wrist, everything. But I found that as the years went on, year 1, year 2, year 3, what started as a tremendous amount of progress kind of tapered off, and I wasn't getting better anymore. And then at one point, it even slowed. And as progress slowed, injuries increased. I was constantly nursing a pesky low back, a knee that was clicking, something or another. And the final straw was in 2018, I tore everything in my shoulder. Couldn't even lift my arm up, and I was like, fuck this. CrossFit is not sustainable. It doesn't work. You can't do this forever. It's not the answer. So I started training at East Bank Club, if you're familiar downtown. Went back to the old school roots, right? Headphones in, not talking to anyone, doing your own workout that no one else was doing. And I was like, well, this sucks. Look, there's no fun in this. There's no accountability. There's no intensity. There's no community associated with it. So at the time I was working for an elevator company. I was selling elevators. And I traveled all over the country for that. But my travel schedule was incredibly flexible. I could pretty much go where I wanted. So I started aligning my work trips with different seminars, certifications, internships and mentorships that were going on throughout the country in the fitness industry. Everything from like CrossFit to unconventional training to Exos that prepares people for the NFL Combine to old school S&C, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, and attending these seminars. And what I started to realize over the course of it is like, all right, CrossFit's dope. And it's like the most exciting way to work out. And you work out with people and it pushes you. But there's this entire world of science that has been around for decades. And people have literally studied how do we take an organism, a human being, and supply stimulus to it to create positive adaptations without supplying too much stimulus to where the organism breaks. And it's been studied, and people have figured it out, and they're continuing to figure it out. And that's why if you look at something like professional athletes, Olympic athletes, college athletes, good high school athletes, or even high-level CrossFitters today, none of them work out in the old school CrossFit style because it's not quite sustainable and the progress doesn't continue indefinitely. So the coming slides are beliefs/disbeliefs that I have developed over the last 10 years regarding training. And they're things that I think it's important I share because one thing you'll learn about me and our team in general is I don't just want to tell you what we're doing, I want to explain to you why we're doing it. Because I think if you understand the rationale behind it, you're way more likely to, one, be bought in to the reason for doing it, and two, you're able to get a lot more out of your training because you can apply the things to your own personal training. So, number one, I believe that community engagements are the single most important parts of CrossFit. Yes, the training is important. Yes, we all want to get better at things, but it is the fact that we're all sitting here right now, and for the coming years, we're all going to be doing the same workouts, and we're all going to be talking about them. That's what gets buy-in above all else, even the training. Engagement, which could also be enjoyment, is also so important. I am not a professional athlete. And as far as I know, no members of this gym are professional athletes, correct? Cool. So, what makes your workouts fun is equally as important as what makes them effective. And I give that caveat in class all the time. I'll be like, all right, based off of where you're at, you should be doing this. But if this option sounds way more fun, that's a perfectly good reason to do this option. Because if you're not engaged in it, the best program in the whole wide world doesn't matter, because you have to enjoy doing it, to want to do it, and to stay consistent with it. Number 2, I believe that coaches are there to coach. I and my team will be your biggest cheerleaders. No one will get more excited about your progress as an athlete than I will. I've lost my voice yelling for people for years, especially at competitions. But above all, if you're doing it wrong, or I think you could be doing it better, I'm there to tell you that, and not just give you a pat on the back for being here and doing it, but to point out ways that we can maybe improve your training. And I only bring on coaches and work with coaches that feel that same way, right? They are there to coach and not just to read the workout and give you a pat on the back. Next, I believe in compounding efficacy. I believe that if we do everything in the gym as good as we possibly can, right? We transition the way we execute a movement just slightly. Maybe it doesn't make a massive difference that day, right? 10 reps of a bent over row done the most effective way versus not quite the most effective way is not a big difference. But just like compounding interest, which we're all familiar with, if we do everything we do just a little bit better and a little bit more effectively, then over 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, that's a huge difference in total fitness level that we've achieved and longevity that we've achieved by executing things the right way, which is why in class we will really harp on execution of exercise beyond just its back squat day. Moving on. I believe that if you are going to tell people what to do with their human body, you should understand the human body. Your human body is quite literally your most important asset. It's the thing that's going to take you through the rest of your life. And if it gets damaged, then that's really bad news. It's more important than your money in the bank or anything. And so when it comes to coaching fitness, one thing that I am adamant on with all of my coaches is continuing education. So at any given point, I'm taking 1, if not 2 certifications. Same with my brother, our coach downtown. Ross is about to sign up for an 18-week advanced biomechanics and functional anatomy course, because CrossFit is great and they teach some really cool stuff at CFL1 and CFL2, but understanding like actual anatomy and physiology and the function and the actions of muscles within the human body is how we can get the most out of you and make sure you stay safe while pushing yourself to the limits. Because we need to understand what all of this in this meat sack is and how it functions to do the things that we want to do and make it do them the most effectively. I believe that if you believe in a program enough to have others do it, you should do it yourself. I am going to be in the mud with you, and so is my crew, day after day and week after week. If I write a workout, rest assured that as much as you hate it, I'm gonna hate it right along with you. For the last 5 years, I followed the exact same program that I have my downtown gym do. My brother follows the same program when he's not training for an ultra marathon, which he is right now. Crazy person. But he still factors it into his training and does that. It's because we believe in it, and it's what we want to do, because I think it's going to get me to where I want to be, so I definitely think it'll get you to where you want to be. So I'm right there with you, and so are our coaches. This is a really big one of mine. I do not believe in randomized programming, which is kind of the crux of what CrossFit teaches. They teach the hopper concept of randomized programming. There's a reason that that isn't used anywhere else. It's because the science side of things has told us that periodized programming is what's effective. Randomized programming, if I just sprinkle doses of squatting, we'll front squat this week 4 by 10. Next week, maybe we do small balls. The week after, we do a heavy 3 back. How can I ever make sure that you're being provided enough stimulus to create adaptation without getting too much stimulus that you start to break down? And so what you'll learn as we get going is we structure everything in lifting cycles. 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks on the longest end. And over the course of that block of training, the days of the week look the same. If we're back squatting on Mondays, we're back squatting on Mondays for 8 weeks. We prescribe loads, intensities, sets, and reps to control volume to make sure that it's not just like max day, max day. No. We're gonna make sure you're getting just enough without getting too much of that thing. And then at the end of the cycle, we test those things and we go, oh shoot, can I quantify that I actually got better at this? Now, people have short attention spans. So if every week you show up and it's 4 by 5 back squat, add 2 pounds from last week, add 2 pounds from last, that is so boring. And so we find ways to do it to keep it fun and engaging while also providing you the correct thing that's going to get you better. But you'll see a lot of it repeats to some degree, at least movement pattern from week to week, to make sure that we're moving you in the right direction. I also do not believe that a single program is adequate for an entire gym of athletes with different goals. Raise your hand if your single biggest fitness goal right at this second is to get as strong as you can possibly be. Okay? That's not a lot of us. Raise your goal if it's to look better and feel better. That's a lot of you. Okay, why do you and me need to do the exact same back squat prescription? We don't. Because our goals are really different.
Said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if we have different goals, we need to modify those prescriptions to align with people's specific goals. So when you come to class that first Monday, you're going to see on the board strength and power. You're going to see on the board build and tone. Both of them are going to be doing back squats. But the prescription of the squats is going to be different because different goals require different volumes and different loadings. So you'll align, and it doesn't have to be the same all the time. You might do strength and power on your squat days because you want to get your legs strong. And then you might do build and tone on more upper body focused days because you want to add muscle to your body, you want a little more intensity, you want to get a little sweatier. You can skew the program on any given day to what you're trying to achieve with your own fitness. And our coaches will be here to help walk you through that and make sure you understand what it is that we're doing. I believe I'm going to skip this one because it basically duplicates another one. My wife told me to take it out last night and I forgot. But it's still in there. I do not believe that advanced programming is reserved for advanced athletes. So often in the CrossFit space, you see programming as like 4x5 building or 3 sets of 10 without prescribed loads. We use a lot of ways of monitoring and running intensity. So we use things like RPE, rating of perceived exertion, reps in reserve, percentage work. All of this is how any competitive athlete has achieved their level of fitness. They will seem like hieroglyphics when we first start. If you haven't done this before, we will be here to help explain it to you, make sure that you understand how to perceive those efforts and get the most out of your training and execute on those things. Just don't be alarmed if you look in Wodify on Sunday before coming in Monday and you're like, CrossFit already has enough acronyms. Why are there more acronyms in this program? Getting towards the end, I promise, I do not believe in spending 25% of your workout preparing to do things that actually matter. What I'm referring to is warm-ups. I haven't done a PVC pass-through or world's greatest stretch in like 2 years. Because if you're gonna spend 60 minutes a day exercising 4 days a week, that's 4 hours of your week, right, total. Why would we spend 1 total hour of that just like swinging our body around before actually doing something that's gonna be productive? So the way that we structure warm-ups is we will get you into loaded positions that you need to be in that day, and we load them essentially like this. Think of that stuff that should be at the end of your workout, and you all know you should do it. Bottoms up kettlebell press, loaded pass-throughs, reach overs, but the end of the workout comes the bulletproofing stuff, and you're like, I'm exhausted. I'm not doing that shit today. I'm out of here. We do that stuff built into the warm-ups so that you'll do movement number 1, movement number 2, loaded mobility, stabilization, and then you do your first warm-up set of squats. And then you go through movement number 1, movement number 2, second warm-up set of squats. We call it a functionally integrated warm-up. By the time you get to your working weight, you've already done 3 sets of that really important stuff. It's warmed you up to lift, and you already did productive accessory work for the day. So I try and spend as much of the 60 minutes of exercise doing things that are gonna actually improve your physiology versus just doing some riff-raff in order to get ready to do the things that matter. Cool? I believe that there should be a clear separation between CrossFit as a sport and CrossFit for life. A simple reality is that no one ever improved their longevity, their appearance, how much muscle they have by swinging around and kipping on a bar, doing handstand push-ups, or squat snatching. Those things are absolutely a waste of your time if your goals are just to look good and feel good. Now, if you love those things and you think they're sexy and cool and you want to compete in CrossFit competitions, those are my favorite things to teach you. I mean, we all heard Ross is a Division I gymnast. We will teach you gymnastics. I love gymnastics, but only if it aligns with your goals. So anytime we have overhead squats, gymnastics, any of that advanced movement stuff in a workout or as part of training, there will always be an alternate option for just general physical preparedness and becoming a healthier version of yourself. It's never going to be prescribed for the whole gym because it might not align with your goals, and so why spend your time doing it? I believe that intensity is a variable in the program and not a constant. One of the things with more traditional CrossFit is that we do a Metcon every single day, a competitive Metcon. You put your score in. That is probably the biggest hindrance in people that want to get better at things, getting better at things. Because if you're forced to give 100% intensity on everything and sell it out, there's a score box. So air squats that should look like this start to look like this.
Josh.
And next day, someone's getting called out. We don't need that max in on a daily basis. Humans are not meant to compete every single day. We need to spend more time training than competing. Now, I love Metcons as much as anybody. I still compete, the open and quarterfinals and local comp and all of that stuff. And that doesn't mean that some days the workouts are gonna be easy. I promise you, they will be really hard. They just won't be, let me sell my soul to the devil and feel like I'm dragging myself out of the gym every day because I got hit by a bus type of part. We taper intensity up and down throughout the week so that you have time to recover from a stimulus and actually adapt instead of just always being buried 6 feet under the ground. And then, this is my last one, I promise. I believe in our ability to take you beyond what you previously thought you were capable of. We started running our programming downtown 5 years ago. Since then, I've seen it take over 24 athletes to quarterfinals. I've seen it set masters powerlifting records for all of the state of Illinois. We're sending a woman to nationals this year in weightlifting. She competed in nationals last year in weightlifting. I've seen people that have been doing CrossFit for years get on a structured program when they thought that they were done making progress, and suddenly this avalanche of progress comes. I've seen people lose weight, I've seen people get jacked, but most importantly, we are here for you guys, and I believe in our ability to become a part of your community and hopefully contribute to your fitness and to the community itself, because our people are gonna be here day in and day out and are so dedicated to your success way more than our own success, because I believe that if you put the members first above all when it comes to the training, the community, the space itself, then everything tends to work itself out. And so I am beyond excited for the opportunity to work out with you today and to work out with you for the years to come. And I appreciate you guys coming. And I said it was the last slide, but it's the last slide I'm gonna talk on. I will move into what today's workout is. This is the Jag Tester. This is our oldest benchmark workout downtown. The blue is the prescribed Jag Tester. This is traditionally done as an individual workout. It's like a rite of passage thing downtown. We're gonna do it as a partner workout here today. So you'll be with a buddy getting after it. The stuff in the white on the side is like the RX Plus, the harder version of the traditional Jag Tester. I will encourage you to mix and match the things together. So if you want to do the heavy wall balls, but you're not going to do the gymnastic stuff, that's great. Do you guys want me to talk through the whole workout, or I don't know how the gym works? Do you guys all know what that stuff is?
Do you want to wait for questions on your presentation first?
Yes, thank you.
Cool.
Questions, please. Anyone have anything? Open. Yes, please.
So if you come 3 to 4 days a week, you say it fluctuates. Some days, is it going to be like Mondays is it going to be predictable which days are higher intensity, lower intensity?
Yes, it will be super predictable once you see the first week of the program, but even before that, before we start every lifting block, whether it's 4 weeks or 9 weeks, I will send out a very long email to you. It will be full of absolutely hilarious jokes, but it will also be full of what the training goals of each day are and how we're approaching that training. And that is so exactly that reason. You can be like, my goals are this. What aligns with my goals? And at the end of the email, it says, if you have questions about which days of the week and which programs align with your goals, email me back. I send out that email every, 6 to 8 weeks, and I get back 15 responses. I meet with people, I jump on a call, we talk after class, and we structure the program to them specifically.
Where's the name Jaguar come from?
What a great question, thank you, Kevin. One of the coolest things about CrossFit is that it showed us that specialization in a single part of fitness is not a way to become a well-rounded human being, right? You look at CrossFit Games athletes, they might be the best weightlifter in CrossFit. If you put them in a weightlifting competition, most of them are kind of poo-poo, right? If you look at the strongest back squatter, bench, deadlift, powerlifter in CrossFit, in a powerlifting competition, they're getting rocked. They're capable, beyond capable of everything because they don't specialize in a single thing. So is the Jaguar. The Jaguar is not the fastest, but they're pretty damn fast. They're not the best climber, but they can sure as hell climb. Not the fast swimmer, but they still swim well. The Jaguar is the CrossFitter of the animal kingdom, in my opinion. And Jaguars are dope.
So what about during like the CrossFit Open, if you're not an affiliate, who's gonna judge it? How are you gonna get our scores submitted?
Yes, good question. So, we are still deciding and undecided on whether or not we will affiliate this location. Stop the camera. Just kidding. Don't have to. What we will inevitably do if we do not affiliate this location is we will have everyone sign up as Chicago Ave CrossFit, which is our downtown affiliate location, and we will validate your scores through our downtown affiliate. I don't think CrossFit would be thrilled about us using it in practice, but we pay them $4,500 a year, and all they let us do is use the word CrossFit and don't give us anything else, so I think it's a fair trade. But yes, we love the Open. We had 76 people participate downtown last year. We make it a whole thing with teams, and I mean, it's a big to-do for us. Love the Open. Anyone else? Please, this is the moment. Okay. Cool. If anything comes up afterwards, I think I said I'm gonna send this video out to the whole email list so that people that weren't here, if they wanna watch it, can. If you think about things later in the day, I think everyone has my email now. Please email me. I'm available all the time. I'll be here a lot over the coming week, leading up to next Saturday. And I am so excited to get to know you all better. And everyone that walked into our gym downtown X number of years ago per person was a stranger when they walked in. That's Val. She's my wife and I's best friend now. Val stood in our wedding last year. We didn't know her 4 years ago. And those are the types of relationships that places like this build. And I can't wait to develop those relationships with you guys, hopefully, if you like me. Cool? All right. Val, we'll get warmed up.